So the next thing we are going to cover is how we make a grid. We've covered paragraph writing now, and the other useful aspect of communicating in print is creating grids that we can hang up on walls, or we can cut out into flashcards or into choice packs and different things to assist with communication and with general understanding. So how do we make this grid? There's a few elements in here that I'm going to cover. One is how we actually turn a normal box into a table like this, and then we will fill each one of those boxes with content so it does actually fill the box, and then we're just going to do a few tweaks to the symbols. So this is only a few steps, but they're due to communicating print's nature. It's best if they're followed in the order that I'm going to show for best results. Doing it a different way could result in errors and complications because this isn't the slickest program sometimes. However, you can achieve this just fine if you follow what I'm about to do. So if we blank this now and start with a fresh page, the first thing to do when you want to create a table is to start with this box here. You want the border with the symbol, because we are going to put symbols in each one of these grid cells that we're going to create, so we may as well have that on by default. So I select that, and now a very recommended thing to do here is to draw a fairly small box, just like that. So we're not putting anything in it yet, we're just drawing a small box. We're now going to move into adjust mode. So far all the things we've done have been in create mode. If we go into adjust mode, you'll see some changes happen to the buttons here. So if we click adjust, things change on the left, things change on the right. We're not actually interested in any of this stuff and we're not interested in any of this stuff at the moment. So how do we turn this into a table? Well, the first benefit of going to adjust mode is that it actually allows us to select different tables. So we've selected this one, and now that we can go to frames and pictures and click make a table. Now this page may look different for yourselves. It depends on which version you have of Communicate in Print, but essentially I find the best way to create a table is to make sure you're in fixed table size, and then just specify the number of cells you want across and you want down, and not worry about any of this fixed size, current size, or the measurements. Just simply fixed size table, 2 cells across, 3 cells down. So if I press OK on that, you'll notice it multiplies up my original cell by 6 into this table. Now we're in adjust mode, which means we can click on this and treat it as an object. And we can't type in it at the moment, but that's not what we're doing. What you'll notice is that we have some drag handles, which means I can maximize the size of this grid here to fill our page. And while we're here and we've got it selected, we can also go to frames and pictures and adjust the appearance. So this brings up a great little box for you to experiment with to see what kind of different results you can get. I mean, it is just about changing the appearance of the frame really, and in this case all I'm going to do is change it to a blue color, but there are plenty of other things you could change if you felt it was beneficial. I'll leave that for you to experiment with. So now we have a blue frame. I can now go back to create mode so we can do some typing. So we have our blue grid and we have a multitude of cells, each one of which I can click into, and you'll notice the cursor appearing. So let's do a bit of typing. So the first thing I want to write is how. Now remember to press space after you've written your text to get the automatic symbolization. Now you'll notice as well that it's rather small. It's not filling the cell as we would like. This is easily fixed through a handy button down the bottom here, which essentially expands the area. So if I click this now, you'll notice how is now filling the space. However, it's not in the center. We can also fix that quite simply. If we just make sure we're in our Word and then look over on the right, we've got some alignment options next to the font and graphics. When you're working with grids and cells, just makes sense to pop everything into the middle here with the two middle options. So that's center align and middle align vertically. So that would nicely put it into the center of our cell. And using that process, we can populate the whole grid. So do expand middle center, we expand center middle, make expand center middle, and this expand center middle, and then finally grid expand center middle. Now we are almost there. It almost looks like the picture that I started with, but there's one slight difference. We've got a different symbol here. So let's click into the word make and see if we can adjust that. Now you'll see here, clicking in, that actually we don't have a wall here as an option. We've got a collection of different symbols that represent make, but none is actually a wall like I want. So how do we get a wall in here? Well, a thing we haven't covered yet in the create section, right down the bottom here on the left next to the expand button, is the graphics resources. So if I click that, the section on the right changes, which presents Communicate Imprint's graphics resources on the right here. And this is through 3 different tabs, the first of which is graphics, which is a collection of graphical pictures and some symbols that I found in the installation folder here. And if you browse through that, you can see that there's a collection of different images and symbol-like things that you can use to enhance your documents. So sometimes it's worth looking through those. And the next tab is a collection of lines that you can use, again, to add to your document, but I'm not going to cover those. And in this case, the one we're interested in is the Use List tab, under which you'll see that symbol list is automatically selected, which is what we want. We want to search through the widget symbols that are available to us to find something more suitable. So I wanted a wall, so I can type wall into this box here and then click find. This then shows all the matches within the symbols that are available. And to add this to our word make, it's slightly the other way around to how we normally add symbols. So normally we would click in the word, then we would click the symbol and it would appear. And if we do that, what you'll see is it hasn't appeared on the word make, but instead we've highlighted the word, the actual wall, because there's a red box around it. And now that it's highlighted, we can then click into the word make and deposit the wall on top of that existing symbol and replacing it. So that essentially is the way to replace symbols from the symbol bank. If we wanted to say this other wall here, again we'd click it to select it, and then we'd click on our word and then we would replace the wall. So that is an alternative way that you can change the symbol on a word to something that is perhaps entirely different to the word's meaning, but relevant to what it is you're trying to cover.